It's Wednesday, the 5th of July, 2023, in this evening's show. We are discussing all things pre-season, including the new signings, how the squad is shaping up for the new season. Plus, we're running the real of the latest news, including pre-season friendlies, cup draws, and our full League One fixture list for the forthcoming 23-24 season. I'm John Espinal, and this is Seaside's podcast. Extra time show, pre-season ramble. Good evening, everybody. Welcome back to the Seaside's podcast, summertime special, pre-season preamble. Welcome to Andy, welcome to Nick, welcome to Raggy, and everyone on the stream. Thanks for joining us. Great to be back. Ben Elton, evening, missed all this. Welcome, David Coleman. David tuning in from, was it Canada or America, Nick? We met him in the Phoenix, didn't we?
We did,
last game of the season.
Right.
It was good to meet you, David. And one quick funny story, as I was saying to Andy in the green room, there was actual physical cobwebs on this microphone as I was drawing in an interview. That's how long we've been away. We're at the pre-seasons here. Welcome, Raggy. How are you doing? Thanks for coming on.
Very well, thank you. All good. Looking forward to winning the league. Can't wait.
HMS Pistol League.
Oh, it's easy. It's already done.
Sailing. Nick, evening.
Good evening, John. Good evening, everyone.
You've been making someone's tea this evening.
Not quite now. Started my new job today in a kitchen at a gastro pub. So complete change of career after 30 odd years sitting at a desk. But I'm looking forward to it. It was only a trial day, but they've invited me back for the weekend, so I must have done all right. So yeah, looking forward to it.
You didn't make anyone sick. What did you mean?
Not that I know of.
Yeah,
a lot of it
days.
was just prep today. So yeah.
Did you actually make anything?
Well, yeah. I'm not on doing all of the dishes yet because it's literally my first day. So I was just finding out where everything was and doing loads of prep for all of the kind of, there's like bar snacks and different bits and then an a la carte menu for evening. So I'll be kind of working my way through it as I go, hopefully.
Excellent. Andy, obviously in the hospitality business yourself. Maybe a chef short, give Nick a shout and he can pop over.
No, there you go. He's just, and he can learn under somebody else and then he can come and make us some money.
Egg and chips will be my forte. David is in, I remember you told me this place, Saskatchewan in Canada.
Saskatchewan.
That's the one.
Mr. Ragazzino.
Man of the people.
Like that, I expected you to be a educated traveller, and it proves to be the case.
Man of the people, John.
He once went to St Anne's, you know. He once went as far as St Anne's.
Without a passport, I sneaked in.
Tim is actually at sponsors evening at the moment. He was going to join us, but I think it's overrun. I think he said Critch is actually speaking, so he's hanging around to see what Critch has got to say, and I'll hopefully be feeding back to us. But first thing we're going to be talking about, from as Mason Allen's just said there, Tangerine Dream. What do you boys think of the new kit that has actually dropped today, hasn't it? So let's get that up on screen now. Let's talk about the kit itself first, Nick.
Yeah, it's plain, but I don't mind that. It's almost a bit retro, isn't it? And we've had kind of pattern ones recently, so I don't mind it. Obviously, the talking point is going to be the sponsor, which I'm not going to sit here and say I'm outraged about it. I have that, during the season and stuff, but I understand both sides of the argument. So there are people who really, really struggle with gambling addictions. It does destroy lives, and I think they're looking to ban it from shirt sponsorship from the Premier League, aren't they, over the next year or so, and I don't know if that'll filter on down into the Football League. So it might be something that doesn't happen going forward. I just feel like, we had the Visit Blackpool one, didn't we? And everybody loved that. It was advertised in the town, and this is going to be understandably divisive and maybe something we could have done without. But at the same time, it brings money in, so I can understand it from a commercial point of view from the club. But I also understand why it might put people off, buying the kit.
Everybody can see some messages coming in the comments. Leave us your thoughts on the kit. What do you think of A, the design, and B, the sponsor? Over to you now, Andy. Your views, A, on the design of the kit itself, and B, the sponsor. Now, obviously, coming from your work background, you probably can't take the moral high ground with this, can you?
Zero high ground from me. Right, I've earned my living in the casino industry, haven't I? So Leo Casino, funnily enough, for 5 years. So that just gooses me even more. From my point of view, I think the shirt's okay. It's an okay shirt. People genuinely think it's all right. The sponsor is divisive, and but I come from the side really. If you like it, buy it. If you don't, you don't. And I'm sure there'll be plenty that go against it. There'll be plenty go against it, but it is what it is for me. I personally won't buy it, but that's me.
Men in the over 40s really shouldn't be buying kits anyway, should they? So it's really not. It's probably not an issue for us. But the design itself, I love it. I'm very much in the traditionalists camp when it comes to football shirts, and I think it's looking from the pitch anyway, it looks like the right shade of tangerine, and I believe less is more. Football shirts, I actually really like it, but I know it won't appeal to the hipsters, will it, Raggy? The younger generation, I think they like things a bit more out there, design-wise. A few bits on it.
Maybe. I don't care, me. I'm not one for the kit. I won't be buying a kit. I never do, and I'm not bothered. People can like what they like and not like it if they don't like it. Sponsors, everyone, because everyone can be a hypocrite and call it about the gambling. Same people that will be gambling left, right, and centre, and get a drinking company, and we'll all be drinking left, right, and centre. And I don't know. I just feel like something else for people to have a whinge about. I understand some people might have issues, but everyone's got an issue, haven't they? If you don't like it, you don't like it. That's it. If you do, you do. Doesn't really matter to me. I just want to win. I'll be carrying that shirt above my head if we win the league anyway, with them players wearing it. So
CJ front and centre as well. CJ is going to be our fulcrum this season, flanked by our new signings. So,
well, the most I took from that picture today was it's not Jerry Yates.
Yeah. Nick, have you seen the kit reveal?
I have. I was just going to mention it. It was just saw it when I got in from work before. Getting ever more inventive, aren't the clubs in these kit reveals? And the new Indiana Jones film's just come out, hasn't it? So it was quite apt, but it did make me chuckle. Yeah, that's probably the most we've seen of Mr. Beasley in a while, isn't it? Very inventive. Yeah, it did make me chuckle. Very professional.
Something I read earlier on in the day was a lot of people. Obviously, there's the issues with the sponsor, but I don't know about you guys, but me personally, I've never been influenced ever to buy a product or use a service because it's on a football shirt.
No, me neither. But I think maybe I don't know. There obviously will be people who do. But yeah. Personally, it wouldn't make me go and open an account. But like I said before, I can see both sides of it. But it's done, isn't it?
John
The thing
Gradwell,
that
I miss floors to go.
Rebecca's of Southport, that's what we need.
Sorry,
the
Andy,
thing
go on.
is, they don't need many. They don't need many people. They just need two big hitters to go on, and they've paid for it, and that really is it. And when I was in casinos, when we were doing some advertising or something along that lines, right, you weren't really looking for masses of people. You're looking for one or two big hitters, and that's it. And that pays you away. But it's a bit of a sad situation all round for me. But equally, I agree with Raggy that it doesn't make any effect to me, and I'll never go and open an account with them because they're on the front of the Blackpool shirt. Wouldn't make any effect to me.
I suppose the only thing is with it being different for children's tops. That's where it's a little bit like, well, kids should be wearing the tops of the hero, shouldn't they? Not asking why they're wearing a different one. But
I don't
that's
think
the
we'll
world.
notice, Rags, to be honest.
That's the world we're in, isn't it?
Yeah.
But we're in an offended world, aren't we? Everyone wants to be offended or concerned about something. We all do it. We're all hypocrites. But it'll be no one will even mention it in a week's time. So
Yeah,
it'll be done.
Sponsor aside, I like the kit. I'll put my flag in the sand.
Well, I would always want a collar on my kit if I was going to buy one. So for that reason, no. But I'm not buying one anyway. So if they want to look like Vickers, Tangerine Vickers, that's up to them, isn't it? They can do.
Wasn't that part of one of the classic kits from the 70s, that collar? I think it's a throwback to that. Let's look down a few of the comments. What the viewers think. James Luke Gillett just said, boring new kit. David Coleman, ordinary at breast. Craig Neld, nice retro. Eddie has said, I don't like that kit. Won't get it for your birthday then. Lee Kelshaw, retro looking kit, looks good to me. Phil Umby, tattoo puts me off. It's on Pennington's arm.
You can see from the comments that it splits opinion, doesn't it?
Yeah.
And that literally is it.
Well, Father Shuttlecock looks good in it, so.
Oh, you'll laugh at this, Raggy. A Derby pod has written to us and asking us to give our views on Avett.
All right, Mr. Avett.
Yeah, so I've not written it yet, but
so just send that clip. Just send that clip of when Huddersfield scored at home at Bloomfield Road against us. Just give it that one. It says it all in that 10 seconds of play.
It does. So, right, that was the new kit. Let's move on to transfers. As we did say, whilst looking at those kits being revealed, there was 2 new players flanking CJ. And those 2 players are Matthew Pennington, signed on an undisclosed 2-year deal with 1 year an option from Shrewsbury, 28 years old. Player of the Season Award winner last year and very well regarded player for Shrewsbury. Also, let's just go through them one by one then. Nick, come to you first with Matthew Pennington. Obviously, I know it's hard to analyse and give a view on these players until we've seen them in the flesh, but it appears to be a good deal, doesn't it? And
on the face of it, yeah, looks like the exact type of player we should be going for. I mean, the first thing I always do is have a look on the fans forum of the club the player's been at. It's not that you can always take that as gospel. I remember what Leeds fans said about Stephen Craney, and he was absolutely brilliant for us. But a lot of the Shrewsbury fans, obviously sad to see him go, and were saying that they were surprised he didn't go to a championship club, which can only bode well for us. Partner for Marv. Hopefully, it'll bring the best out of Marv, like when he had Keogh alongside him, and he'll have hopefully have a decent season for us. What I think we are seeing from the club is like the guy from Charlton. They appear to have plugged the leaks, don't they? This one, I hadn't seen his name mentioned anywhere beforehand. So they're kind of quietly going out about the business, which I don't mind at all. That we're doing it that way, and hopefully a decent signing for us. Like you say, very highly regarded there, and a few of their fans think he could play at a higher level, which hopefully he will have the chance to do season after this one coming.
Okay, that was Matthew Pennington. Andy, let's come over to you. Maybe our stellar signing of the summer, Ollie Norburn, signed on again on a 2-year +1 deal. 30-year goes. I think he's probably our marquee signing so far, isn't he?
Yeah, I actually asked somebody this week who played with him, and he said he's a pretty good player. Bolton was certainly trying their absolute utmost to sign him, so they're a bit disappointed. Always nice to disappoint them, isn't it? But like he genuinely, we've chased him before, haven't we? So hopefully he can play the balls through. I was just about to say to Yates, wasn't I? But like whether he's actually at the club by the time the season starts is a moot point. But like he's looking a lot more prosperous. That he can play balls through. Probably lack of goals a little bit. That we might. That's where we could do with someone. But are they looking for Carey to do more in Division 1? I'd suggest to you that is where Critch might look for the extra goals.
So I'm looking at the ages of these two players. Pennington's 28, Norburn's 30. Raggy kind of goes against the grain of bringing in younger players and signing them, going for more experience.
Yeah, which is probably what's needed. It's probably what's needed right at this moment in time. Anyway, no matter what division we found ourselves in, I don't know a lot about these players, whether they're good, bad, or indifferent. I just like the fact that other people wanted them for a change. Other teams wanted him, particularly with Bolton trying to get hold of him. I would have thought they would have been able to get him away. Is he not? He's from Bolton as well, is he? I think.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
And the fact that we've beat them off and clearly have beaten teams to the Pennington signing, that means we're offering something, doesn't it? It means that we're definitely offering competitive money, and also that they're hearing something when they come here that's exciting them and thinking, yeah, I'll be part of that. That might be Critchley, might be the long term. Well, it will be. It will be part of it, certainly. And the long-term aims of the club. I've no doubt they brought these players in saying that they're going to build the team around them and things like that, and why not? And like Nick said, we've not heard of them either. They just come up. I know we've heard of Norburn in the past, but they just come out of nowhere, don't they, these signings? So all plugs leaked, no more battling, knocking about. And no more team sheets.
Nick is a Granada international as well, Ollie Norburn. Did you know?
Is he?
Did you know that? Yeah, Granada. Yeah.
Massive, aren't they?
Oops.
No, it's good. It might get us a few games off then. International weekend. What internationals have we got? Lavery, Norburn,
King
Kenny. Oh, we'll definitely be getting some games off then, won't we? Some international breaks. Oh, I think it might be important though.
Is there a potential risk with Norburn, given he's had a very serious injury, hasn't it? Was it a cruciate ligament when we were just about to sign him first time around?
He has, but I think prior to that he'd been okay, and I think we've probably learnt our lesson. With signing players with a history of it. I think if anyone can get one bad injury, can't they? It can happen to any player. But I think if you look at his record prior to that, he's played a lot of football. So I don't think it's like a Kevin Stewart gamble where if he stays fit, you've got a hell of a player. But unfortunately, he was never really fit. I think we'll see a lot of him in a tangerine shirt. And I think that's, probably something that they've been conscious about, having been stung with it so much last season. I mean, you can never say never, can you? But I think that we'll probably look at it a bit more and going for players who've got a decent amount of football under the belt each season, rather than the quality, but they only play 20 games in 2 seasons or whatever it is.
And we've obviously got a rigorous program of testing players, because we rooted out Colby Bishop's broken toenail last season, didn't we? Didn't sign him, so we're not going to be
negative. Please don't be negative.
We're not going to be falling for any of these players, are we? No chance. If he's passed our rigorous test, he's do all right for us.
Yeah, thanks for pointing that out, Mike. Matt Robinson in the chat has just said he played every game when he came back after injury. So that's
a positive.
That's good to know. Nick, we've also signed a lad called Albie Morgan, first summer signing, 23 years old, signed on a 3+1 from Charlton. In the website notes, it said a midfielder that continuously looks to unlock defences whilst having a keen eye for goal himself. So obviously with the signing of Norburn, Pennington, they're now fixing the problems we've got on our spine, and this Albie Morgan lad looks like it could be the sort of player that we need to unlock defences, pick a pass and do the more kind of creative role in there.
Well, that's the thing. That's the word, isn't it, John? Creativity. With the players that we had who were creative, but were injured for so much of last season. It's an area where we were really lacking in. I'm not going to say I know a lot about the guy because it was another one who we hadn't, that name hadn't been mentioned anywhere as far as I'd seen. Come out of the blue. But hopefully he can fit in and provide that creativity. And we've got Tribal as well, haven't we, in the midfield? So it's starting to look reasonably competitive now. I think it's starting to come together. There's still work to do, obviously, and a lot of that might depend on what happens with Jerry, which we'll probably come on to talk about. But after what we've seen in previous transfer windows, where we spent kind of a summer chasing Cameron Brannigan or whatever, we seem to be going about our business quietly and quite effectively for me so far. I've been impressed with the players we brought in, so it's a thumbs up.
I'm just I asked a Charlton fan that I know what about him. What was said he splits a bit of opinion, but personally I've always rated him. Tries his best, and in the right team with the right players, he will shine. That's what came back. So hopefully we are the right team with the right players, and we'll see him shine.
And I think we've got the right manager or head coach, whatever you've called it. Obviously, opinion is a bit divided on Neil Critchley, but I think we all need to just 100% get behind him now. He is the man for the job. He's proved his worth in this division, and I think Raggy mentioned earlier that he could be the guy that's getting these deals over the line. People want to play him because they know they'll get developed. Richard O'Donnell, we've also signed a reserve goalkeeper to replace Stuart Moore. May he rest in peace. Goalkeeper on a free from Rochdale, Fans Player of the Year there, apparently, over 400 appearances. Gents to the room, very much an understudy to Danny Grimshaw, who will no doubt and be our deserved number one next season.
Yeah, I don't think we'll have blown the budget bringing this guy in, and I don't mind that because I think it there's money to be spent elsewhere, isn't there? Ultimately, if it's a backup, you don't need to be spending a fortune on a keeper who you might only see in, maybe the whatever it's called, the sponsorship is this year for the EFL Trophy. Or if Grimmy picks up an injury, and that's not to say he won't be able to step in and do well, like you said there, John. 400 appearances, you don't get that many if you're a poor keeper. Brings a lot of experience, and I think it's absolutely the right type of signing we should be making as a backup keeper.
Very eloquently put, Nick. If Grimmy gets injured on day one, it's good to know we've got that kind of experience waiting to come on and do a job. Reece James out, no surprises there. Gone to Sheffield Wednesday for an undisclosed fee. Just before we talk about Reece James, is it annoying anyone else that every single fee is now undisclosed in football? Kind of takes the fun out of it a bit.
Yeah, it always seems to be, doesn't it?
It's been the Blackpool way since the Oysons, hasn't it?
We got a few tidbits of money though, didn't we? Like 1.3 for DJ, that kind of thing. Yeah, it just never gets announced anymore, being a championship manager nerd as he used to be. I like to know these things. So yeah, anyway, Reece James gone, big loss, or no one bothered?
We didn't see a lot of him, did we? I can't say he particularly set the world alight for us. I think it's probably a deal that just suits both parties. He's obviously done well there for them last season, for them to want him back. He played quite a lot of games. I wondered when when the manager went, when Darren Moore went, whether that might be the end of it, because you get a new manager coming in and they could have different ideas, but a lot of their fans liked him and wanted him back, and ultimately, if we've decided he probably wasn't going to feature, then it's best all round, isn't it? I don't know, maybe he would have done, but it's a chance for him to play in the championship, isn't it? So I think it's probably a good move for all concerned.
Depends how much money we got as well. We'll never know. But
that's why I want to know, Rags.
It could have been £500,000. It could have been £500,000, couldn't it? I mean, I don't know. They seem to have
funded a couple of our transfers, couldn't it?
Yeah, they could have paid for Jerry to stay.
As Big Gaz not letting you know anything about what Yates is going to do. Rag.
Yeah, he told me he's definitely staying.
Brilliant.
Only joking, Simon. Only joking.
What's Big Gaz up to now? Then is he?
I've not spoke to him. I've not seen him for a bit.
Mitch hasn't come on this evening. He's probably in mourning. So let's move on to our current squad as it is. Let's bring this up. While we scroll through this list, let's just talk about our strengths and weaknesses and where we need to add to the squad. So obviously in goal we've got Grimmy there, Richard O'Donnell. Defensive lineup, I'd kind of wager this is our strongest area. So we've got Connolly, Husband, Gabriel, Oliver Casey back, even though he's in the old shirt. Big Marv, Dom Thompson, Andy Lyons, Doug Tharm, a new signing, Matthew Pennington there with that, what can only be described as a lizard training top. But that abomination aside, Jesus. That was God striking something down then. What do we think of the defensive lineup? Andy, I'll let you come in first. I'm back in a sec.
It's not, if given everyone's fit, and there's the $64 million question if they are, then I just don't think we're too bad. I think Lyons is a really good fullback if we play him now. League One, can see him getting loads of goals. It's I doubt if we'll see Gabriel at the start, will we? So then it comes down to the left side to make sure we've got enough, because Garbutt's gone and I'm not a great lover of Thompson. I can assure you of that. So it leaves probably. I don't think it's that bad, to be honest. I'd just rather someone else instead of Thompson, but there you go.
Do we need to add anything to that? Is that back four?
Only thing I was going to say, John, I suppose it depends what his plans are for Casey and Doug Tharm, whether they're going to be in and around the squad or he's planning on loaning them out. I think they're probably not starting for us, but you look at the centre half pair and will probably be Marv and Pennington if they're both fit. Full-backs. Gabriel, I don't know how far along he is on his rehabilitation from injury, but when he's fit, you'd expect him to be involved probably. Lyons, we know, he was great last season, can play on either side. So if you're playing Gabriel on the right, you can put Lyons on the left. Husband's Mr. Steady, isn't he? And I get what people, say about Dom Tom, and last season at times it was like, he was out of position or costing us. I've not written him off. I think in League One, you maybe get away with it a bit more. And I think with Critchley, if anyone can hopefully coach him, then you would say it could be Critch. And, it's probably just a case of this is what we need you to do when we're in possession. This is what we need you to do and where we need you to be when we're out of possession. And who knows? He could tear it up in League One. I might be talking rubbish there, but you never know.
I think you are.
I thought you'd jump in.
Damn,
no, I've not given up on him. I'm trying to be positive.
Well, I have, because I've got eyes. But that I agree with someone that's written in one of the comments that there won't be a better defensive lineup in the division. But we do need a left attacking fullback, because he isn't it. No chance. So other than that, if there was someone else, I know they say Lyons can do it, but I don't know if Lyons would be better on the right. I don't know. But then Gabriel must play if he's fit for me. So I'd be happy if Lyons and Gabriel were the fullbacks. And then equally Husband if we were playing 4 at the back. But attacking fullback if we were playing with wing backs. We need a left-sided one.
We have got options in there. I think these are all these players that we see in front of us. They're pretty versatile as well. I think.
I agree. What somebody said. I can't think who it is here now. Somebody said there won't be much better defences in League One, and it's true. I don't think there'll be much better teams in League One. It's there for us to go and win, dependent on Yates.
Everybody, listeners, viewers, crack open a can of Raggy Aid, take a few big gulps of it, because the pool are going up. Ain't that right, Raggy?
Loads of it this year. Of course we're going.
We're not getting it on tap at the Arndale this season. Come on.
Yeah, well, we can get a drink made called Raggy, but you know what Raggy Aid is. It's it's weighing off vodka and Red Bull. It's all there. It's all there. It's on tap. Anyone comes in and wants to drink a Raggy Aid, I'll give them one. No problem. There'll be loads of it this season. The fan base is growing. Everyone's getting, the team's getting better, the squad's getting better, and even the social media is getting slightly better. So things are on the up. And I've stuck 30 quid on us at 14-1 to win the league. Not through Leo Vegas, though, because I don't agree with them. Bet365 I should have had on the top.
I can't say anything because I like a bet on Bet365 as well.
Yeah.
Right, let's move into the midfield then. Owen Dale, remember him? He's back. Kenny Dougal, Sonny Carey, Matty Virtue, Christopher Hamilton. Oh, he seems weird. CJ Hamilton, Rob Apter, Tom Tribal, Albie Morgan, and our new signing, Ollie Norburn. There he is with the Granada flag. I always think of Granada. I always think of the TV hire shop.
Is it Granada or is it Grenada?
Is it Grenada?
Or is it potato? I don't know.
Where's Tim when you need him?
I think it's Grenada, isn't it?
Is it? A TV rental shop gag does not work then. For the
we'll know by the end of the season because we'll be watching him playing when he's on international duty.
Beating Scotland.
Oh, easy. We could probably do that if we put our minds to it.
Right, to the room then. What do we think of that midfield? My opening gambit is it looks pretty good.
I'll throw a little spanner in here to your argument before. Would Apter be the left wing back that we were looking for?
Who's seen much of the development squad? Where's Sean when you need him?
Yeah, there you go.
Making videos of Indiana Jones. That's what he's doing.
On the face of it, for a League One midfield, he's got plenty of options there, hasn't he? Like whether it's the right options out wide.
Could be a big season for Tom Tribal, Andy. I'd like to see what he can do. I think he'll be a very useful player in this league.
Is there not a little bit of a rumour flying around that he's got to buy out till a certain point, or he could be released for free up to a certain point, and then he's got to stay? I don't know. The answer to that is I don't know personally what it is, but I'd like to see him play a full season. That's for sure.
What we're thinking though? 3 in the midfield. Who's the 3? Or is it 2? Is it 4-4-2?
Well, we need to know the formation, don't we? Well, he wants to play 4-3-3. That's his dreams formation, is it? But whether he believes he's got the players to do that, who knows?
Yeah, I think. Sorry, go on, Andy.
Sorry, Dougal was great for us in League One before, wasn't he? And not so effective in the Championship. So is that an option he's going to turn back to? If you remember when we went up, Dougal when he came in was he made a real difference in midfield in League One. But
Sir Keir has arrived in his car.
Is this outside Bloomfield Road there? What's going on?
Tim, thanks for joining us. Where have you just been?
I was going to stand outside, but it's a little bit windy, so
go in the outfield. Get yourself in the outfield.
I should have gone in the outfield.
Yeah, well.
I'm looking at it as I sit here. So I'm connected, shall we say, Raggy?
That's what it's there for. It's the embassy.
And for those who I don't know if anything's been said, because I listened to the first 10 minutes or so, but I went to a sponsors event tonight, and I sort of hung on rather than come on the podcast because Critch was speaking. It was a little bit later than I thought it was going to be, so I thought I'd just dive in for 5 minutes and give you a little bit of feedback on what was said and you know, and sort of generally about the feeling around things that have happened today and things that have been said. So Critch has just finished. He spoke for about 10 or 15 minutes. To be fair, it was sponsors only because it was that type of event, but he spoke very positively. You do really get the impression that he really quite regrets what's happened over the last 12 months. He spoke about the support he receives here, particularly from Simon, and the fact that that's not been replicated in other places he's been. Without being specific, I think you can probably guess what he's alluding to, and I think he sort of feels that there's a really good fit between him and the fans. I think I got the impression he knows he's got to rebuild trust a fair bit, but I think he seems very, very committed to achieving his objectives, which was great to hear as a Blackpool fan, because I don't think I most certainly didn't get that positivity from the last two managers, Dobby excluded. I've come out feeling probably a little bit more positive about this season than when I went in the door. So overall, you know, he's spoken about going to Ireland next week. I think there's the connection to Liverpool there where they're going, so it's a nice place, but he made it clear they're there to work. It's not a jolly. And it was. I you know, I wouldn't say it was off the scale positivity, but I feel more positive having been in there than before I went in.
Anyone got any questions for Tim?
Was there anything mentioned about sponsors and things?
The shirt cropped up. Obviously, the shirt cropped up. Probably not from the point of view of this. They showed the shirt and etc. But they didn't really speak about the sponsor today. Didn't really crop up. It's a real. You know, it's divisive. You know, you can't shy away from the message that type of sponsorship gives as against some of the work, for instance, that the Community Trust are doing. But I think there is and I listened to what you guys said about that, and I thought it was quite measured. And I think what I took away from the conversations I've had is that you have a rather stark choice to make as an owner of a football club in this situation. Is the league's sponsored by Sky Bet and whatever. That's all over the place. So do you not do it and take a financial hit, which obviously then means that the owner's got to put more. If you want to compete, the owner's got to put more money into the football club, or do you accept the situation for what it is and try and make sure that you've got the most competitive team that you can have? And that's the two sides of the argument, and different people will have different views about it. You know, I've looked at social media and I can see there's been a fair amount of negativity, but the reality is some of that negativity will, I think, tail off as the season starts, and then you're left just with the moral conundrum as to whether it's the right thing to do. You know, they've banned tobacco sponsorship for a good reason. The Premier League are on about banning this type of sponsorship. But the long and the short of it is that if you don't take this type of deal, then you know the shortfall's got to be made up from somewhere, and the reality is that's the owner. The other thing I would say is, and I didn't realise this myself, but the actual group is a huge group. It's and I'll stand corrected if I'm wrong. It's part of the MGN group, which is a huge organisation that owns 30% of Radisson, owns numerous hotels around the world, and they sort of headhunted us because of their brand colours are the same as ours, rather than it being the other way around. So and they seem keen to work with us. I'm still conflicted, if I'm being honest, but I can see the commercial logic behind it, and I think as some of you said, it is what it is, and I think with that, the deal's done. If the money is invested in a way that allows us to get back where we think we should be, then maybe we all have to live with the fact that that's where the money's come from. Some people don't have a problem with it anyway. In my WhatsApp groups, the views were split. Some just didn't see any issue. Some did see an issue, but were prepared to accept the commercial reality, and some really didn't like it. So it's a talking point. It's a Marmite. It's a bit like the Wonga deal, isn't it? Where it's should you be doing deals with these type of companies? I don't know the answer to that. I just know that it's been done on what appears to be sound commercial grounds, and I think it's one of those ones where I'm probably just going to have to say, right, well, I understand that, and I'm never going to buy the shirt as a 55-year-old with the body I've got. I don't think it's exactly a flattering look anyway. So
you've got the body of a Greek god, Tim. What are you on about?
Tim, just three things. Did he mention about signing any players? Any more players? Did he mention anything about Yates? And how do you get that much volume in your hair, especially when it's windy?
Right. Okay. So to answer that, the four new players.
Owen loves that hair. Don't forget.
The four new players were all there and did a quick Q&A with Martin Booker. One of them, and I won't shame him, did use the word orange. I think it's fair to say he'll never make that faux pas again. So I won't shame him on here. But to be fair, it was an innocent mistake from a new player, and he took some ribbing for it. Yates didn't get mentioned. To be fair, there was talk in the room that people have heard whispers that there's another two players coming in. Whether that's Chris Woods and one of them, who knows?
What, the striker Chris Wood, Tim?
Chris Martin.
Oh, right. I was like, Jesus.
Chris Wood's great goalkeeper.
Yeah.
He would be experienced backup.
Apologies for that one. So, but the four new lads were all there. The lad from Shrewsbury came across really, really well. But they all seem to be happy to be here. They all spoke, including Critch, and about how there's a positive atmosphere around the club, and it doesn't feel like a club who's been relegated. Critch talked about the club's in an immeasurably better position when he first arrived in relation to the facilities they've got and the support he's got and all things like that. So it did, it was a positive evening. They're always going to put a positive spin on it anyway. No player's going to walk into a football club and say it's shite, are they? But, but equally, they're all, I think we've all been quite impressed by the quality of the signings, and, they've got to walk the walk yet, but they all seem, they've all chosen to come here, and they've all got pedigree, haven't they? Which is encouraging. Quite often we seem to pick up the dregs, and most certainly I don't think anybody would suggest that players that we've signed fall into that category. So it is. It's. Listen, we go into this season. Hope where we're going to end up, we don't know. But if we can keep the lion's share of this squad together, even if we do lose Yates, hopefully we can do what Rotherham seem to be able to repeatedly do, and that's bounce straight back.
And finally, how do you get so much volume in your hair? That's the most important question that's on everyone's lips.
I struggle with it, you see.
I've noticed you struggle a little bit with the follicles. It just grows. It just grows quick, and I just put my hands in the air about 10 times a day.
Raggy, if you drink enough Raggy Aid, maybe it'll like sprout some hair on your head.
Yeah.
No, I've drank enough of that. It doesn't.
My question is how does he keep his hair when he's got a general election to win?
Yeah, true.
This is true. Busy all the time, Gracie. So apologies, I was a late pull out from the point of view of the start tonight, but I think it was worth me hanging in there just to hear what you had to say and giving a little bit of feedback on that. I'm sure over the coming weeks and months he'll have plenty to say to everybody. And let's hope. Listen, you having a big dose of Raggy myself. We haven't won a league since 1930. Let's bloody do one, shall we?
Absolutely,
And
100%.
sod the playoffs. Let's go up automatically. Yeah. And how good would it be to replicate what we did 3 years ago, actually with fans in the stadium? Because my big issue and regret really is that we didn't get a chance to watch that season in the way that we would ordinarily have done, because it would have been absolutely bouncing in Bloomfield Road, wouldn't it, to watch us make our way into the playoffs. I know some of us were privileged enough to get into this semi-final and the final, but we missed the full stadiums, and we've got a good base to start from, with hopefully with 8,000 once the last few get added and the corporate get added. So hopefully we can have 9, 10, 12,000 crowds, just like we got last season. So I'm buzzing. Let's make it. Let's hope we have a good pre-season and get a good start.
Well said.
Bravo.
That's almost as good as one of your speeches, that, Raggy. You're going to have to up your game.
I've been teaching him. He's been coming around for lessons.
I'm just smelling the fumes of the Raggy lifted across from the Armfield. All right, guys. Shall I? I'll leave you to it.
Yeah, you jump off, Tim.
I'll carry on listening to the show, and let's hope there's plenty of positive podcasts this season as we storm our way back up to the championship, eh?
HMS Pistol League.
Exactly.
Well said.
Exactly. All right.
Cheers, Tim.
It's very positive, wasn't it?
It was, yeah.
Good to hear.
You on me up?
I like that. Walking past the Armfield and inhaling the Raggy, inhaling those fumes.
Right, where were we? We're on midfield, weren't we?
Before we were rudely interrupted by Sakir.
One course, yeah.
I like that. I like that banner, Gracie. Good, don't it? Where were we? Current squad. Yeah, so midfield. Owen Dale, maybe he's going to be the joker in the pack.
No. I was looking at the lone players who are coming back and wondering what is he going to do with Owen Dale. I think view from Pompey fans was mixed. There were moments of, really, really good football from him last season, but also a few question marks at times around end product. So it will be interesting to see whether Critch, wants him to feature, or whether we see him go out on loan again. Out wide, we've obviously lost Josh Bowler, and I think that in that midfield, maybe do we need perhaps another creative player in there if Dale's not going to feature.
Morgan, Nick.
It could be. But I wouldn't complain, certainly, if we got another in. Matty Virtue, again, is he going to be involved? It's going to be interesting. CJ, we know what CJ's about and what he can do. Rob Apter's the interesting one. I saw him briefly towards the end of the season, and he looks like he's got something about him. But again, whether he wants to get him out on loan or he's going to be involved, we will see. Again, I think it might depend on what happens with Jerry. If he does end up going, if he does go, what I hope doesn't. Obviously, I want him to stay, but ultimately he's proved he can score goals in the Championship, and there will be clubs looking at him. I don't want us to sell him for £2.5 million. I think he's worth quite a bit more than that. But at the same time, I don't want it to drag on to half an hour before the transfer window closes and we can't do anything with the money. I think it's a fine balance that if we do get a good amount for him, it potentially allows us to reinvest some of that and perhaps bring another 2 or 3 in key areas and probably make us stronger in more than one position. So we will see. I think, you see numbers about £2.5 million, and we're absolutely right to be knocking that back, because you look at what other players go for, and it far exceeds that, and it shouldn't be cheap just because it's Blackpool. So we'll see what happens there. But if he does go, like Tim just mentioned there, Chris Martin's been mooted, hasn't he? Is that kind of Not a Jerry replacement because they're probably quite different types of players, but we will see. In Beasley, again, it's a bit of an unknown, isn't it? Because we haven't seen a lot of him. Obviously, we're back into League One, so
seen him in a fedora.
We have. His acting skills cannot be questioned.
Wonder who borrowed that off. In fact, I wonder if they found that in the penthouse. They finally cleared it out and they found a fedora. There you go, Jake. Use that for your Indiana Jones.
Well, he's got to do something this season, or it might be his last crusade, mightn't it?
Hey. And obviously we've got Lavery as well, who, we're back in League One, and hopefully he can find his touch again and start scoring. But I think you need to bring at least one in, I think, up front. Well,
Hamilton's going to be classed as up front, isn't he? I think. I mean,
he doesn't score lots, though, does he?
In a 4-3-3, where's Hamilton playing? If he's playing in the front three.
He is.
We need a right winger as well. Someone that can play on the right wing. I don't see anyone on there that can do it, unless Owen Dale. And the thing with Owen Dale was, was it Reading away and Barnsley away last season before, when he scored?
Blinder at Reading away.
Absolutely
blinder.
And he scored a goal against Barnsley. Did he not? It was genius, that goal. I can't remember if he cut back with it or just flicked it, stepped over, or whatever he did. I'm getting the right player, aren't I?
Yeah, you are. Yeah, Matthew Warrender. Most Pompey fans I know don't rate Owen Dale. He doesn't have a final delivery and doesn't score goals as well. I think he meant to put there, Matthew. That's interesting. So if he's not good enough for Pompey, he ain't good enough for us in League One. But James Scott Associates just says Owen Dale is class. So who knows?
Well, hopefully James Scott does.
You got to think here, right, along the lines of we're going to win the league. So, we can't afford players who just do it every now and again. They got to do it week in, week out. And when you look through it, we've got to have consistency in performance, and so we do need a striker. We do need a right-sided striker.
Any chance of Bowler coming back?
Well, there you go.
No, but is there? I don't know. What do you think? Oh, here we go.
I don't see him dropping down to League One, but at the same time, he's not going to be. I'm not going to be getting in where he is he? But he could end up back in the Championship. I don't know.
I think people would take him in the Championship on loan.
I think there'd still be enough clubs who'd want to. When he's on his game and you get the best out of him, he's a match winner on his day, isn't he? So
I'm guessing with what he would be on at Nottingham Forest, but I don't know, 20 grand a week. We could pay him 10, couldn't we?
I don't know. I can't see it myself. I think we'll be looking elsewhere.
That'd be the key. I mean, if him and Yates were in this team, though, I think we'd be almost guaranteed getting promotion if they played every game.
Yeah.
But it's only a game. We never know, do you? They could get injured in the first game. I don't know, but that quality, and he's got links here. He clearly likes Blackpool.
Rich Henshaw, good shout. Sorry, go on.
No, you're all right. Brad Holmes, you're right. Yeah.
What about Brad Holmes? It's a great shout, Rich. He wasn't even the squad list, was he? So he's classed as a development squad player. Maybe it's the season when he steps up.
It's similar to Rob Apter, isn't it? I think he's. I saw something on Twitter where they've been working on his strengthening, and over the summer. And who knows? Just depends, doesn't it, whether they see a loan out somewhere as the next stage of development, or the fact that we're now in League One. The likes of Brad Holmes and Rob Apter can force their way in, and it would be absolutely brilliant, wouldn't it, if we got 2 players through from the development squad, particularly a local lad like Brad. It'd be fantastic. It's what you want as a fan, isn't it, to have one of your own wearing the shirt? It'd be absolutely brilliant. So I think overall, it's heading in the right direction. There's probably 1 or 2 more bits of business to do, which I'm sure we will do. Don't forget there's loans as well, and Critch has great many contacts, doesn't he, for that type of thing. So that could be the final couple of pieces in the jigsaw if you get a couple of quality loans in from the Premier League.
Morgan Rogers, maybe Nick Fiorini.
Well, again, it'll be interesting to see what City's plans are for those two. Again, with them having played in the Championship, would they want them to drop to League One? I don't know, but if we could make it happen, I think I'd take both of them back, certainly.
Okay, so I think it's fair to say the forward line's the only area of concern at the moment.
Well, it's very weak if you take Jerry out of it, isn't it?
Yeah,
very.
Yeah. If you're talking about a team that's going to go and win a league, pretty much most have got at least 3 good strikers really that can come and go, that can swap round. It's unforgiving 46 games plus all the other competitions that we've got to play in. It's unforgiving, and so it's a lot of games, right? And they've got to be consistent in those games. Like obviously we're going to be, and we're going to win the league. So we've just got to find the right formulas. And Critchley, if you look at that season where we did go up, we would have gone automatically if we hadn't have had a bad start. We had a just horrendous start, didn't we? But after that, we showed automatic promotion form after about the first 7 or 8 games.
Stinger's just said Shirley shouldn't be getting loans back who couldn't keep in the Championship. I think, Bob, that was more to do with the conductor rather than the members of the orchestra.
Yeah, I think Morgan Rogers took a little bit of time, didn't he? Obviously, Fiorini got injured, but when he was back, I thought he showed some, real class touches. And I think Rogers grew in confidence in each game, particularly the last game at Norwich, which I know was a dead rubber, but he actually led the line really well. And he improved each time he played for us. So, look, we could be talking pie in the sky, couldn't we? They might not be coming back to us, but like I said, I think if we have the chance for them to play for us in League One, I'd certainly take it.
I think they owe us one, don't they? They should all get back up here and get us back up. Yeah. Absolutely. Where's Patino? Yeah. Get him and all.
Okay, let's move on. Fixtures and pre-season. So, obviously been a while since we came on. Pre-season friendlies were announced. So we have got, this will make you laugh when you hear the EFL Northern section draw, which was made today. Pre-season friendlies. Southport away, 7th of July. Barrow away, 22nd of July. Morecambe away, 25th of July. And finally Hibs at home, 29th of July. Drawn today, the EFL Northern section Group A, whatever that is. Morecambe away, 5th of September. Barrow at home, 14th of November. And Liverpool under 21s. But when the Northern section Group A draw came out, the person that was arranged the pre-season friendlies went, "Oh shit!"
At least we'll know a bit about them.
We know about Barrow, don't we? Because they knocked us out of the Carabao Cup last year, didn't they?
Last year they did. Yeah,
They can knock us out of this and all.
What even is it?
Nobody knows. It's like that conference bloody international thing, isn't it?
Is it like the LDV Cup, what it used to be?
Yeah.
Is that what it is?
Yeah, we like winning that, don't we? So,
like Bolton won it last year, and to be fair, they made a lot of money. They made a lot of money in the final. It's great if you get to the final, right, and win it, because
it cost the promotion though.
A one-off game, right? But it came at the cost, maybe, to Bolton last year of taking their eye off the ball in their running a little bit. and did that cost them that they're automatic? Maybe, I don't know, but
definitely I hope so.
But it's a fair point, isn't it? Too many games might be a distraction. However, if he can get the likes of Apter and Holmes and people like that games, then it's worth playing, isn't it?
I'd say so. Give the Dev lads a chance. So, anyone going to Southport away on Friday? Is it? I am
Working.
Eddie's off school.
No,
Not for me.
Got a
I usually-
strike on, so I'm going. I'll take.
I usually have little interest in these, but I have been forced onto a bus from the Debbie to the Morecambe away game on the Tuesday night for some bizarre reason. So,
Anyone know what the Morecambe Stadium is now called?
Is it not something like the
Globe, is it not?
Mizuma or something?
Mizuma Stadium.
Mizuma Stadium. Mizuma.
I might go to Morecambe possibly.
That's about the one chance I've got of going to a pre-season, I think.
I never normally do pre-season either, but it's just a bit of
I think
day
really, it's just about getting fitness up, isn't it? Trying players out in certain positions, and I never read too much into pre-season, but it's just good that it's back, isn't it?
out. Hibs at home, Raggy. It'll be a good payday for the Arndale. All those.
Yeah, well, it'd be.
Jocks packing it
No, we won't be letting them in. We need Blackpool fans to pack it out, which we're notoriously not very good at turning up for friendlies.
No, that's what I mean.
But yeah, much needed as well. It's long out of season for that place. It's a big old place. We need fans back in. So I was delighted to see the season ticket sales going up and up and up and up and up because it helps us out as well. No, we won't be letting. We don't let anyone in there, do we? There's
Show your morals, Raggy. There's money concerned.
There was one. There was one
spending.
Well, there was one exception that was allowed, and it was Rangers, and that was because we've got about 150 members that are Rangers fans. So it's like, well, what do we do? Stop all them coming in as well. So the police saw sense and allowed it.
Just going back to the Southport game there, Alex just said the kick-off at Southport away looked funny. Was that where Ben Nansford steamed onto the terraces and tried to break it up?
Gentle Ben.
Fearsome 13-year-olds.
Well, he's a member of Mossad, isn't he, now? So it's got the fear factor.
But just going back to this, you mentioned the season tickets, Raggy. It's kind of there was a few threads on it I saw, and it was like sales were really low, and I'm not saying I thought we'd get to 7, but for a lot of people I knew, they were always going to renew. It's just there was no mad rush to do it. Me and Jim left it to kind of the Friday before, and I think a lot of people did the same.
I did as well.
Yes, me
really
too.
up, hasn't it? I think Tim mentioned there, with corporate being added on, and not everyone will have bought them yet for various reasons.
It. It's going to be 8,000, isn't it?
Yeah,
or thereabouts.
Which will be brilliant. If we start doing well, you get more walk-ons. There's not going to be the type of away followings that you see in the Championship, unfortunately.
No, but there'll still be a few. There'll still be a few clubs that bring a lot here. 1,000 plus
11,
all the time.
11,000 or so. It's decent, isn't it? It'll be bouncing,
and it'll be better that we haven't got 4,500 down the side because that'll do us a favour because that cost us last season. But what I like about it is I always had the impression that we had 3,000, 4,000 hardcore fans that would buy season tickets no matter what, Oyster accepted. Then I thought a couple of years ago it might have risen to 5 or 6. Well, it's clearly risen to 7 or 8, hasn't it? People that are prepared to buy a season ticket, even though we've gone down, even though they're the same price or slightly dearer or whatever they are, people have been prepared, which means our core fan base is growing. And we need a few more. And if we have a really good season and we do get back up there, it'll grow again. And then before we know it, in a year or two's time, we'll have a core of 10,000 that are always going. And that's the aim. You look at Bolton down the road, they're getting, 16,000 season ticket holders. They give quite a chunk away to away fans, don't they? So their crowds, there'll be 20,000 them home games every season. There's no reason why over a sustained period, probably talking over the next 10 years, but we can't grow to that. 16,000 home fans, 4,000 away fans in Blackpool at Championship level and above. No reason. And I was so glad to see it because I think it's growing. And I didn't think it was, but it is. So that's great for me, I think. And now it's important that we do have a good season where we are all there and we hook the next lot of kids and anyone else. Even my Scottish mate Jim's got a season ticket this year and he's never even been to watch Blackpool. He said, "Sod it, I always meet you in the pub after the game. I might as well just come with you." So there we go. We're attracting him all the time.
Brilliant.
Some joker told me that the early bird ran out at the end of May, so I rushed to buy my tickets by the end of May.
So the head of the ticket office told you that, Andy?
I also think they should carry it on that price. They should just knock it on, just have that price. Then say, just crack on. Get them in.
Let's crack on with the fixtures. If you look at the graphic. Fixtures dropped a few weeks ago. We were going to be doing a pod going through these fixtures, but for one reason or other, it didn't happen, like it usually doesn't. Standout games there, gentlemen. Anyone?
Port Vale will be a nice.
To them?
Port Vale will be a nice, lively game on the 15th.
Tuesday night, unfortunately.
Oh, yeah,
it's a Tuesday night, unfortunately, because they'd have been they'll still be lively at that time of the year on a.
Yeah, they'd bring. I'd have thought they'd have brought 2,000 plus.
They will.
Problem.
They will. Yeah. They will.
Burton Albion away on Boxing Day, which is a bit of a kick in the bollocks, having to travel all that way.
Bolton away. Sorry.
Burton away.
I was going to say Christmas is a bit. Look at those fixtures, a little bit disappointing. Obviously, Reading, last game of the season's a bit of a trek.
Worst away game of the season, Reading away.
Yeah, but look at them two. Look at them two last games, Barnsley and Reading. That's where Owen Dale had his best games. It's his season. He's going to see us over the line.
Raggy, it's a sign.
It's a sign.
And that sign says HMS piss the league.
Yes.
Well, to be fair, we're probably going to be the only team with 15 points at the end of August, aren't we?
Well, I would have thought so. I'd be surprised if anyone else had it. I think we could probably get 16 if we really tried.
It's not a tough opening month, is it? Burton at home, Exeter away, Port Vale at home, Leyton Orient at home, Lincoln City away. Obviously, the pantomime villain, Richie Wellens, is coming to Bloomfield Road again.
Yeah, it's just as long as the squad goes into it knowing that they're in League One and not to be... and it's not to be messed about with. There could be an element of like, well, we're Championship players and we'll go. And it's tough. It's going to be a tough league. But if we match the effort and commitment of the other teams, we'll have better quality players. That's what I think, anyway. So as long as they don't take the eye off the ball to start with, I think we can start flying. 3 home games in the first 4. That should set us off.
Fleetwood away, September the 9th. If they're still in business by then.
It is quite sobering though, isn't it? When you've been in the Championship and the fixtures come out for League One, it's kind of like a bit of a reality check. And I don't mean that because we're a massive team in the division and there aren't other big teams in there. But like I say, you kind of look at Christmas and what's come up there, and it's a bit, it could have fallen a little bit better maybe fixture wise. But you just got to beat everyone who's in front of you, haven't you?
Yeah.
Stevenage. That's the first time we've ever played that. What's the Stevenage something like town?
It used to be Stevenage Borough, didn't it?
Borough, yeah. That's what I thought it was.
I think they dropped the Borough because I don't know. Maybe they were going bust or something. I might have made that up, but I think they have dropped the Borough.
That's the first time we've ever played them, surely, in a league game.
No, don't think so. Did we not?
Last time we were down there, I don't think we played them.
I might be getting a mistake with Kidderminster. I'm sure we've played Stevenage, though.
Have we?
Sure we have. Yeah.
Might have been in the boycott years.
No, I'm sure I've been okay. I might be lying. Kidderminster's in my head now when we beat them 4-1 away on.
Yeah, I remember playing them
on a Friday night.
Another standout game there, gentlemen. Given the news that Richard Keogh is now the new Wickham gaffer. Is Wickham at home or Wickham?
Is he?
Oh, is he the boss?
He's not the boss. He's signed for him. Them? Yeah, no, he's still playing. He's
Someone told me he's the manager. Oh, right.
No, it's Matt Bloomfield. Yeah, the manager.
Yeah.
But yeah, it'll be good to see him back, won't it, Uncle Richard? I'm sure he'll get a very good reception.
He will,
yeah, until he has a great game, and then he'll be getting all sorts of abuse.
Bolton away. I think that's everyone's standout game.
Remembrance
11th
Day.
of November. What day is that on? Is it a Saturday?
Yeah. Yes.
What other away games are we looking forward to then? Carlisle away.
One of
Carlisle
the
away.
last ones, isn't it? That's normally a good trip.
Depressingly, if you look at November the 4th's got no game, and that'll be the first round of the FA Cup.
Yes, and I remember there's a few international weekends in here somewhere for our Grenadans and Northern Irish and Republic of Irish players.
As Alex mentions in the chat there, you've got a couple of London trips, haven't you, as well, in Charlton and Leyton Orient for...
yeah, that'd be good. Cheltenham, I like Cheltenham.
Who are exiled and anybody who wants to make a
Cheltenham's
weekend
on
of
a
it.
Tuesday night, Raggy.
Oh, you're joking?
Yeah, we
Wow.
fancied that, but it's a Tuesday, unfortunately. It's a nice place.
What's
Cheltenham.
that all about? Yeah, it is. Well, I can't say anything else. I don't know what's their shoot.
Mike Robinson. Hey, Mike, you want to be our resident stato here? You're coming up with all this good information. March 2017, we played Stevenage in the league. You're right.
Oh, there you go. I definitely wasn't there, though. I can guarantee you. I wasn't even allowed on club property at that stage. I thought I was getting done for looking at the stadium at times back then.
I concur with your ban.
Yeah.
Right, so those are the fixtures. Just before we go, let's catch up on a few other little bits of news. Mike Garrity and Ian Brunskill back at Bloomfield Road as assistant head coaches to Neil Critchley. And also Stephen Dobby has returned to his job as the senior professional development phase coach with the development squad, ably assisted by Matty Blinkhorn. I think the main thing for us is Garrity and Brunskill coming back. I have read somewhere that we needed a more of an experienced head like Calderwood and McCall. Or is that a bit harsh on Messrs Garrity and Brunskill?
It's not a massive surprise they've come back, is it? He knows them, doesn't he? So it was probably always going to happen. But yeah, I mean, we did pick up when certainly when Calderwood came in, didn't we? And who knows, as we go, we might see someone else come in. But it's not a massive surprise that a lot of managers do it, don't they? They go back to the people who they know and trust. Andy, you were going to say something?
Just people say to me that Garrett is a really good guy. And so are you, Andy, but I don't want you assisting the football team. I would be useless. Especially if Johnny had my knees to kick a few balls. Jesus Christ. Apparently he's a nice guy and well liked around the club and he's obviously trusted by Critch. The Brunskill's the one that probably divides a little bit of opinion. That did we need that bit of extra experience? Obviously, he's a decent coach, but did we need that experience? And more from a nous point of view, more from a hardened footballer like McCall and Calderwood were. They win the hard game. You know, those games where you need a bit of nous. They got it. And you felt that they give the players a little bit of fire at times. And Critch doesn't really give you that confidence that he's got much fire in his belly. He obviously has, but he doesn't exude that. And sometimes people need to tell the players how it is on occasions. And you've always felt Calderwood and McCall were that organiser, and they tell it how it is.
I think the thing is, though, if you're winning games of football, nobody cares. It only gets brought up when we weren't winning, you know. And I think Critch will have learned a lot from what he's been through at Villa and then particularly QPR. So there probably has been, certainly at QPR times, where he's had to go in there and give a bit of the hairdryer treatment, I dare say, when you've not won in 12 or whatever it is. So I think he will have improved through that adversity. And I'm not looking at it thinking, oh God, where's the experience? behind him, I think we'll be okay.
Okay, and finally, David Downs appointed sporting director. This is from the club website. Downs will now be responsible for all football development at Bloomfield Road, leading on player recruitment using the latest data and technology to define a clear sporting strategy. He will synchronise the academy and first team structure as a part of a long-term strategy. Brackets, ably assisted on the data front by Mr. Sean McGinley. No, I've just made that bit up.
Well, again, I think it's good to get someone in, isn't it? You see people on social media saying, when's it coming, when's it happening? And this one had been talked about for quite a while, hadn't it? Prior to him coming in, it was probably just a case of Sheffield Wednesday getting the playoffs final out of the way, and then he could come and join us. And yeah, all about the data. And that doesn't mean that you just can only sign a player based on it telling you certain things. I'm sure they're still doing other types of scouting and looking at stuff, but I think the fact that it's saying a clear strategy is a positive, because I think it's something that we probably didn't have in the last season. We kind of went from one end of the spectrum to the other, didn't we? Certainly in terms of managerial appointments and the like. So it's no bad thing, I think, that we've got somebody in who can kind of give us that strategy and guidance. And as Craig just mentioned in the chat as well, yesterday there's an analyst coming from Crewe as well, who's been at Crewe a long time. So dare say Critch knows him from his time there. So that's another positive.
Sean might not like that. Another stats guy coming in.
Got someone to talk to now.
Just Sean will be making his tea every morning, won't he?
Talk about between the lines and stuff. XG.
Oh, geez. Imagine he's an XG man. Oh.
I wonder what percentage of these guys actually make a difference.
So if only someone had a stat for that, Raggy.
Exactly.
We'll see at the end of the season.
Right, guys. I think we'll call it a day there. Hour and 17. It's been great to catch up with you three, and thank you to Sir Kay for his cameo role right outside the ground, inhaling all that the fumes from the Raggy Aid. So yeah, well done there, Raggy. Right, next pod coming out probably just in the run up to the season after we've got the friendlies out of the way, and I'll have more of an idea of what the squad's looking like. So stay tuned for that. All that remains to be said is thanks for watching, everybody. Thanks for downloading. Inhale the Raggy Aid and up the pool. Come on the pool, HMS Piss League.
Come on the pool.
Oh.